Welcome, FNUC57 here. Once again, I'm back on my Xbox One today to bring you yet another Gears 5 video. In this video, I will be showing you how to complete the Master Difficulty Horde, all 1 to 50 waves, on the brand new map, Mercy. So this map is part of Content Drop 2 for Operation 7, and if you've seen the video that I did for the Horde Frenzy, you'll know this map is not the easiest map. It is definitely in my top 3 most annoying maps for playing Horde on. The recommended class setup is going to be slightly different, so shout out to my friends here, Crap Flapper, Casper, Nasty, and Misfit for helping me out with this video. In the previous video, Metal joined us, but for some reason I can't get a hold of him today, so hopefully he's doing alright. And we'll have to run the map again at some point with him so he can get the check mark. Anyways, with this particular team comp, it should allow us to keep maximum firepower while also keeping minimum required lockers. I should note that for a standard Masters run, the cards that I will be using as a mechanic are Healing Repair, Efficient Fabrication, Overclocked Locker, Ingenuity, and Reinforced Fabrication. Some people don't like the Reinforced Fabrication card, but I really think it is quite helpful. I would also recommend a Pilot, standard loadout for Pilot, but as long as you have the Hammer card, you're fine. Demo is your Boss Nuke, standard loadout for Demo. And in this case, Nasty is going to be helping us out greatly because he is going to be running a hybrid combat/forge jack. Yes, that's right, I said forge jack, despite the fact that those really haven't been used since, like, Operation 3. But for this map, it actually can really be warranted. A Misfit is going to be joining us as the Infiltrator, so he is our close combat class. Alright, without further ado, let's get this map mastered. Now, I should mention, for those of you that haven't seen the Master Horde Frenzy video, this map is a very annoying Horde map. It's cool for PvP, but for PvE, it's got a number of downfalls to it. So back in the day on Gears 3, we really didn't have flying enemies, and the explosive splash damage was lessened, making this map actually pretty viable. You also didn't have to worry about energy taps, so it was, I would say it was more fun. Now, in this particular game, after multiple people testing multiple load-ins about 20 times, we have come to the conclusion that the energy taps primarily spawn next to the center of the map, pretty much around the balcony, with more spawns falling on the library side than on the opposite side. So there's only 2 really viable spots to set up on Master Difficulty with a normal set of modifiers. One is in the library, the other one is in the church, which is also known as the sanctuary. The problem with setting up in the sanctuary is it's about as far away from all of the potential energy tap spawn locations as you can possibly get. So I don't really recommend that spot. It's not that it can't be done, it's just really a very difficult close quarters section to be with minimal power. Now, if you guys manage to play it in a different location that you like better on Master Difficulty, just, share in the comment section. But yeah, this map can be frustrating, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to leave all 50 waves of gameplay in here. Feel free to fast forward if you would like. But I will tell you one thing that is not frustrating, and that is making sure that you go ahead and like the video, and of course subscribe for more content. By doing so, you will never miss a new video. So, of course, we have a little bit of a crappy tap location for where we're going. And that is the only tap that actually spawns close or slightly close to Sanctuary. So, this is definitely gonna be... This is going to be a little bit trickier, but, well, it wouldn't be Master Horde on this map if it wasn't slightly tricky. And we got leeches, too, right off the bat.
That's what you get.
Oh boy, now Metal messaged me.
Come on, have a go if you think you're hard enough. Nice one. Barrier deployed.
Fighting fit.
Now, if we can keep these energy taps alive, they can be really, really helpful. And hopefully we don't get the set that spawns on the opposite side of the map. Ideally, you want the set that spawns pretty much in this area near the balcony. Of course, sadly, the Coalition has not added any means for us to actually control where energy taps spawn. That definitely makes it difficult.
Broken! Nailed it!
Oh, gotcha.
I was wondering where you were at there, Metal.
3 left!
Can't beat the best.
You had it coming.
Nice.
Normally I'm online about 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, but like I mentioned yesterday, I was trying to make sure that I was able to get this video recorded as quickly as possible, so...
Time's up. They're coming. I got dropped. They're damaging the tap. We're not done yet.
Tap destroyed. Let's resecure it.
You look like you lost weight.
Do not cross me! I got you, Marcus. Okay. You had it coming. Another one down. I got your back, Marcus.
Barrier repaired.
Thanks. Thanks.
Nice one.
Got it. Ammo secured. We've got company.
Weapons locker repaired.
Weapon time.
Sniper.
Hunter mark. Yes, indeed.
Come on then. You're scared. 4 left. Barrier repaired.
Who wants it?
I'll take that. Oh, gotcha. More ammo here. All clear. Tap's taking damage.
I got this. Boom.
We got enemies incoming.
Much obliged.
Boo. Hell yes.
Okay.
And Bob's your uncle.
Loaded.
Fuck off, Scion. Your shit. Now we understand each other. I got you, mate. Yeah, your shit corrected.
Vigilant and unyielding. Okay. Got him.
Sniper!
Alright, my apologies there, you guys. I had to stop and make sure that Metal was okay. So, yep, just a little bit of a time zone difference thing, but at least he is doing alright. So I will end up running this map again at a little bit later time so that Metal can get the check mark. Now, you will have noticed the fact that things are a little bit sketchy because the energy tap keeps getting destroyed. Depending on where the energy tab spawns is going to determine how easy of a time you have while doing this.
You might want to run.
But we're going to do a little bit of a hybrid setup here. Because we need a forge. Well, we don't really need a forge, but it is actually helpful to have a forge. So I'm going to get this locker to level 4. And if I get this locker to level 4 right now, then I'm going to save up for the forge.
Yes, indeed. I'll take that.
Which, sadly, the forge costs 10,500, and that's with the 45% discount. So, yeah, forges are very expensive.
Time's up. They're coming.
But one of your top priorities while playing should be keeping that energy tap alive.
Okay.
Looks like you had to split.
And it's almost impossible to keep an energy tap alive when you're dealing with the very unfortunate fact that this game loves to give you leech waves. And it loves to give you leech waves in the beginning. When you have a leech wave for like the very first wave, or the very first set of 10 waves, you have a leech set. It's very annoying because they absolutely shred through the energy taps, and there's almost nothing that you can do about it. So now we have to make sure that we get the energy tap back almost every single wave.
What's the matter? You hurt?
Only 2 left. Let's do this.
Alright, we've got the energy tap. Obviously, you have to kind of coordinate about sharing ammo boxes.
You had it coming.
Actually... Oh, Misfit's already got an overkill. I was going to say I have to trade him one, but he picked up one from a elite grenadier. Now, it's going to be personal preference based upon your team, whether you go for, like, upgraded barriers, upgraded lockers, what you do exactly. But it's kind of a toss-up between when you get the forge and when you don't. Alright, here we go. Level 1 forge coming up. I'm going to put it in this back corner, though, nasty, so hopefully protect it from incoming fire. We'll keep that at level 1 for a while, and then I'll get another weapons locker up for Casper.
Nice. Okay.
Grenadier elite! Keep your distance! The damage is the top!
I just wish that these enemies wouldn't strip the energy taps as quickly as they do.
Bring it down!
I got the elite grenadier.
Elite drone spotted.
2 down in the front.
Time to do some damage. Not cross me.
Oh, you're all torn up inside!
Oh yeah.
Securing the tap!
These guys are basically destroying the tap every single wave. That's usually the way Gears goes, is, you know, it gives you the worst possible tap location that you could get.
Securing the tap.
And the enemies also love killing your taps.
Sniper!
Alright, we're good to go. Just kill them.
I'll just help myself.
There's also another drop shot right here. Yep, Nasty got it already. He knew exactly where it was. Now, as I mentioned, it's probably a very unusual sight to see a Forge Jack at this point in time. So just something to keep in mind. If you are going to run a partial Forge Jack, you want to make sure that you have the optimizer card. And in addition to the optimizer card, you also want to have the portable resupply card, because the portable resupply card allows you to stay invisible while carrying a weapon. It has a hidden mechanic.
Okay.
There's a present for you, Misfit.
Weapon time.
Now you can also go ahead and go one step further, and you can help Jack by running weapons for Jack. Characters that don't actually need to have both of their weapons. So for instance, me here. Nasty, I got a couple weapons for you. I had also dropped a shotgun by the original location of the forge.
Come on then, you're scared. Help me secure the top.
Stocking up.
Alright, there we go. Got that. Take a quick look over this way for any weapons.
Bang on.
This is definitely a slower game, but you will be having a much better experience if you build and take your time in the beginning as opposed to rushing things and then not having enough power. If you are running weapons for a forge Jack, it's a very good idea to drop the weapon on the ground and then verbally tell the person that's playing Jack, assuming that you're in a party and actually able to communicate with them, that you have in fact dropped a weapon at the forge. If not, simply trying to mark the weapon is sufficient.
Cap upgraded.
That's all of them. Rearm and rebuild.
By doing that, you notice that we have a much larger amount of power, and I can actually go ahead and upgrade that locker already to level 4.
Weapons locker deployed.
Yep. Feel free to move your lockers around where you need them. We've got 2 4s. Now I'm going to try and get that forge up another level because we are broke.
Okay.
Still got it.
Sniper!
Got some on me now. I got the cooties.
Get back here, you annoying little Theron guard.
Weapons locker deployed. Okay.
Quit having a laugh and pick me the fuck up.
Okay!
Loading.
Damage. You're not so tough!
So this does seem a lot more chaotic, and that's because we're doing even more functions.
Killing's my business, mate.
Dropped off! Okay.
Which I should mention that you don't have to do what we're doing. Like, it's not 100% necessary that you play this map in this extensive nature of I need every ounce of power that I can get my hands on. But if you do that, it does actually make the rest of the game easier. Another very simple trick that you can use to make the game easier on yourself and make the process of forging weapons easier is to simply pick up and plant the grenades.
Barrier upgraded.
I got a shotgun for you there, Nasty. I'm trying to run weapons for you as well.
That's the cogs now.
Alright, if we combine our money, we should be able to upgrade that forge one more time.
Energy tap upgraded.
Ah,
Forge
I need just a little bit more to upgrade it. The forge gets expensive to upgrade, even with mechanics discount. Alright, we got a Swarmac. Definitely read that forge. A Swarmac is not what I wanted to see.
barrier repaired.
If you're playing as a mechanic, it is a good idea to pick up one of these Lancers right away.
Oh, you gonna have a cry? 5 left! Here they come! House taking damage! Not the worst.
What the heck?
Me up! Forge deployed!
Huh. Okay. I think that, that torque bow duplicated somehow. Interesting. That will definitely require some further testing. Possibly when we don't have a Swarmac in our face, but we were unsuccessful in getting the energy tap that wave, but I just dropped a torque bow on the ground right there. There's also a bolt hawk if anyone wants that. Unfortunately, you can't forge bolt hawks.
Yep, I'll take that.
I can upgrade that real quick.
Help me secure the top.
Alright, there we go. Forge is upgraded.
Not my fault.
There's an M-bar at the forge. You can't forge pistols, and here's a torque bow.
Time's up. Enemy reinforcements.
You can't forge pistols, and you can't forge grenades.
Ready to go.
Medic! That did not improve my mood.
I'll take that.
They're damaging the tap. Barrier deployed.
Alright, we've got the initial set of barriers all up to level 2.
Out of my way.
Still missed the far energy tap. Oh well.
Securing the tap. Time to rebuild
Got
our
that feed.
shit. And get ready.
Despite the fact that we have more aggressive enemies as a modifier, this map is still slow. I would say anticipate at least a 2-hour runtime for this. I got the hammer burst before it disappeared. Here you go, Nasty.
Here it comes. Guns up, people.
I don't know why I couldn't mark that.
Thrown down. Oh, God damn it! You look like you lost weight.
Take you over. Okay.
Oh, Cryoscion in the
Shock out.
balcony area. I got him shocked, though.
I am spotted. Come on, man. He's dead. Weapons locker repaired.
Weapons on.
Ready to go. Got it. Bring it.
Alright, we gotta save one. There's a long shot right there.
Barrier repaired.
That's mine.
Medic!
Of course, the sniper does not want to leave me alone.
They really pissed me off. Energy tap repaired.
Stay away from our energy tap.
Sorry.
Your mom's a classy lady. Energy collected.
I'll bring the long shot over here to the forge. There aren't that many enemies, so we're doing alright.
30 seconds till reinforcements.
I do wish you could forge pistols.
Got him. Good to go. Oh yeah.
Alright, forge is at 3.
Fortification deployed.
I'll take that.
This is where things start to get cooking. Those first like 15 waves and the last 5 waves are really intense. The first 15 because you just don't have anything. You're really short on money. Can't keep the energy tap most of the time, so you don't have the health boost. And then the last 5 just because, well, all of the enemy poisons are active, so the increased damage, accuracy, all of those not so fun things you have to contend with.
Can't beat the best.
Oh man, what happened? Who wants it?
Good work.
Keep them coming.
Oh, I'm ready. Your mom's a class.
You could also, in fact, use a Nomad for this, too, if you wanted. Nomad has a pretty decent potential with the fear, since you do get a lot of small stuff that likes to run up next to you.
I got you, mate.
Broken. Loaded.
Dropped another retro up here.
Weapons locker repaired. Barrier repaired. Energy tap repaired. Still got it.
So many Boltocs around. Oh well, can't forge those.
Energy tap is full.
If anyone from the Coalition ever watches this video, that would be a really cool thing to actually have in the game, is the ability to smelt the pistols.
Yes, indeed.
Forge deployed.
Alright, forge is done.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be working on getting pretty much like a triple layer of barriers because we've got more aggressive enemies. We'll be doing good now. It's just that initial 15 waves that you don't have anything really. And sadly, poppers can't forge the grenades.
Guess what? You owe me.
Sniper!
Your shit. Come on, then. You're scared. That's it.
Oh, I like that.
Piss off, that was fun. Oh, that was great.
This Cyclops.
Nearly destroyed.
Well, there's my 30 kills daily done.
Cap destroyed. Resecure it.
Oh, I'm so dead. Or not. I was like 1 point off from going down, though. The enemies did, in fact, take out the one energy tap, though. I'm gonna help Nasty by running the Retro Lancer out there. And then finishing my job of repairing this energy tap. That's easier to actually keep. As long as you can keep the energy tap, it's not bad to repair them. It usually costs several hundred energy to do so, but considering each player gets like over 700 energy when you collect from it, it's definitely worthwhile.
Done here.
I reckon we've got about 30 seconds till enemy reinforcement. Get ready.
Sweet.
Oh, I almost glitched through the tap on that. Definitely gonna get repair cost up to 3. Same with that. And now we need to get another set of barriers. So this far section right here isn't as important. Pretty much 2 barriers is sufficient.
Hi.
This left side, because there's a fatal funnel here, you need more barriers. And flying enemies are, of course, a nightmare.
Do this.
There isn't a lot of protection from flying enemies, regardless of what you actually want to do.
Come on, then. You're scared. That's it. One dead easy.
Who wants it?
Sniper!
Rock and roll.
Whew. That was close. I think we just lost both of our energy taps. Yep, because of flying enemies, we did, in fact, lose both energy taps. Alright, there's a salvo next to the forge. And we have to get both energy taps again now.
Weapons locker repaired.
That's mine.
Barrier repaired. This This'll shred you lot.
I do have everything, and I don't see any other weapons on the ground.
Perfect.
Solid.
That was a bit disappointing that we lost the energy taps, but
Energy collected.
it happens more often than I would like to admit on this map.
Sweep. Let's regroup and resupply.
So we have our triple layer of barriers out there. And we have to work on a double layer. We're going to put 1 point in fortification damage and 1 point in fortification health. It's not really 100% necessary, but it does come in handy from time to time.
Setting up a barrier.
We've got enemies on our perimeter.
I got this.
Oh, I'm ready. Barrier deployed. Ah, I took a hit. Nothing but bits.
Oh, come on, Juvies. Oh my god. Okay, yep. You've really got to be careful when it comes to palace guards. Palace guards are crazy OP.
Barrier repaired.
Alright, if we keep this enemy alive, we already have the taps. There's a whole shitload of weapons right here by the front barriers. Most of them are torque bows, actually.
I'll take that.
Now, since we're running a forge jack, we'll have the money to do it, but I'm actually gonna get electric barriers up. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I would assume that it might work the same as it does for river and actually be able to keep the flying enemies out of our little secret hidey hole base. I wouldn't recommend doing that if you don't have a suitable power supply, though.
Got some on me.
Energy tap is full.
Of course, adding a few shock sentries can also help.
Ammo check. Get ready for more. Energy tap repaired.
We have most of the core base set up. Yeah, you should be good to perk now.
Oh, brill.
We'll have way more than enough money once everything's all said and done anyways, so I'm not really too worried about it. This map can be kind of expensive just due to the sheer amount of fortifications that you need.
Okay.
Barrier upgraded. Come on, man. Who's scared? Barrier deployed.
Alright, I'm not 100% sure if that energy fence is actually going to work to keep the flying enemies out, but might as well test it now. In theory, it should work the same as, like, River, and we should be able to keep those enemies at bay.
Who wants it?
Thought I seen another weapon. Oh well.
Shit! Down! Shock out!
Two left.
Securing the top!
I just dropped another weapon at the forge for you. Well, never mind.
Don't mind if I do.
Fortification.
There's a couple weapons around that claw for you, Nasty.
Help me secure the top!
Friendly starting fire.
Get the fuck out of the way, please!
Sorry about that.
There's a claw right there. I don't really see anything else weapon-wise.
Ammo secured!
Oh, there's a Lancer back here.
Barrier repaired!
Fuck you.
Now, if we can just keep these energy taps upgraded, we will have all the possible power we could want. And you only really need to be worried about collecting the power for the first few waves. As a mechanic, then you should be focusing on your repair cost, repair speed, and we'll put a little bit into fortification damage, because eventually we will be using shock sentries and whatnot.
Lots up there here.
It doesn't hurt to get started on a shock sentry now.
Let's dance.
Kind of try to keep them protected a little bit behind this central column and also out of the way so that you can move around them.
Tap's taking damage!
One day.
The enemies just absolutely love to prioritize the energy taps for some unknown reason.
Damn it.
I don't usually like to use regular MG sentries, but adding a couple shock sentries, despite the nerf that was done a while back, does actually help out considerably because it'll stagger and at least interrupt the enemies from firing from time to time.
That's it! Fuck off, Zion! More show, mate!
Okay.
Got it.
Securing the tap. Area secure. Look around for ammo.
So the reason why you'll notice that I am continuing to upgrade my repair cost perk is simply due to the fact that that is going to be one of the aspects that I'm spending the most power on every single wave, and that's actually going out and repairing everything that needs to be repaired. So by maxing that perk as early as possible in the game, I'm actually going to save as much money as possible.
Okay.
I got another weapon here for you, Nasty. Thankfully, with Palace Guards, I mean, they're insanely lethal, but they usually carry torque bows. And torque bows are very good to forge.
Bring it.
Now, of course, we do have a Pouncer and a Bastion. A lot of shit at the front door. I shocked them.
Your shit.
Shit, yeah.
Keep 'em coming.
Your mom's a classy lady.
Weapon time.
Three left. I could do that all day long.
We are killing a little too fast there.
Energy collected. Energy tap upgraded. This will shred you lot. Taps taking.
The neat thing is you can do your perks while you are actually repairing an energy tap or fortification at the same time. So that's a pretty cool feature.
Energy tap upgraded. Then forge repaired. Here they come. Barrier repaired.
Astral! Let's do some damage. No stopping me now. Okay.
Top destroyed. We need to refuel it. Ah, I took a hit. I got you, sir.
Oh, this forge is in the way right now.
Who wants it?
I couldn't get past that forge to get out here and do anything.
Loaded.
Forge deployed. Incoming frag.
Let's do this.
It's also worth noting that it is entirely possible for you to forge a weapon just as any normal playable character. You don't necessarily have to be Jack to forge a weapon, but Jack does get the increased power when you're forging weapons because of the optimizer card.
Loaded.
Fun fact or pro tip for those of you that are interested, but Jack is the one character that should never repair fortifications. It actually costs Jack more to repair fortifications with the maxed repair efficiency perk than it does a regular character, non-engineering class, with a repair tool.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Hell yes. Barrier repaired.
Planted.
We've got company.
Safety's off.
Sentry reloaded. Sentries up.
Usually the or
Oh yeah.
most of the time I should say, the shock sentries are a good idea to go ahead and get them to level 4.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
You'll notice that this shock sentry doesn't have a kill yet, but it's not really there to get kills so much as it is there to stagger enemies.
Arm down.
Get up!
Forge repaired. Now we're talking. Barrier repaired. Come on, then. You're scared. It's a gift, really.
Crap!
Oh, no. Almost swapped my repair tool. That would have been really bad.
Got it. Last one. Weapon time.
So here's a prime example of how much it costs to repair. When you have maxed level 6 ingenuity and maxed in-game repair efficiency, it really doesn't cost much at all to repair an energy tap. Like less than 400 energy, yet even from a level 1 tap, you get about 700 per player. So all told, extremely valuable in terms of keeping those energy taps alive. This is the worst energy tap spawn setup that we could have for where we're set up, but because we have a forge jack, we really aren't going to have to worry about it. Everybody's going to have enough power to max out their perks. We're going to have plenty of fortifications set up here. It's been a little rocky road with the energy taps not cooperating.
Hell yeah!
I do want to get another shock sentry up, this time one that's going to cover the front door.
Sentry upgrade.
And I'll go ahead and just max it at level 4.
Safety's off.
This time I'll put that one in the back.
Target eliminated.
Those sentries may be a bit far back compared to what they need to be, but they are simply there to stagger enemies that inevitably get in the doorway.
Weapon time!
They're not actually there to be like 100% relied upon as far as killing enemies. They're just there to provide some much needed fire support.
Barrier repaired. Zion.
And of course right now we have a Scion that was just for the very frustrating reason fighting Lambent. And he's probably gonna kill me. Yep, I'm dead, so there goes my Lancer. Because Scions waste absolutely no time in going for the execution. That is something I find very frustrating about them.
Energy tap.
Now's the time to build, people. Sweet.
Well, if you see an extra Lancer laying around, let me know, because now I need one of those.
Oh yeah.
My bad.
let me see if I can get this power that's way over here. Well, not bad. I got about an extra 50 power that was over there from the lambent fighting amongst the regular swarm.
That's one.
Okay.
Chew on that.
Protect the energy cap!
Nice. Revive me.
Let's dance.
And stay down. Come on, then. You scared? Now we're talking. Taps nearly destroyed. Taps taking.
Unfortunately, the taps probably will get destroyed.
Okay.
Juvies and leeches will shred energy taps way faster than what I would like to admit.
Two left. Bring it.
Barrier repaired.
Now, for those of you that don't know, level 2 barriers are pretty much ideal because they slow the enemies down the most out of the barriers that can be passed through. They don't really take damage that quickly compared to a level 3 or level 4 barrier that will take damage so fast that it really isn't worthwhile using except in certain extenuating circumstances.
Get ready. Energy tap upgraded.
Energy collected. Taps taking damage. Energy tap repaired.
I got my Lancer back, so I'm happy. Everything else is just forge it. This is probably going to be a waste. This tap's probably going to die, but
We've got company.
at least I'll bring back a hammer burst.
Damaging the tap.
Okay.
Hi, asshole.
Barrier repaired.
Also, if you're going to be one of those players that runs weapons for Jack, it's generally a advisable idea to use a weapon skin that is very easily noticed when the weapon is on the ground. So use a bright colored skin or something more along the lines of a Arid Gale skin. Of course, Arid Gale is a very rare skin, so you might not have access to that. But Island Orange Glow or just any of the bright weapon skins is sufficient. Something that the player that's playing Jack can easily see. Now, using a skin like the Black Phantom skin, which was part of the Road to Gears 5 challenge that they did back on Gears 4, it was an unlock reward for that. That would be an example of a weapon skin set that I wouldn't recommend because it really does blend in easily.
Who wants it?
Barrier repaired.
Now, of course, playing Engineer, basically, we run around with our repair tool out, build some fortifications, and if you have a forge Jack, run weapons for the Jack. A lot of people say, oh, there's no reason for Jack to have anyone assist him and run weapons. That's not true because a player can run weapons depending on what they're doing 2 to 3 times faster than a jack can. And the reason for that is you can carry 2 weapons on your back, and then you can also pick up a third power weapon and run all of those weapons while still sprinting. Whereas the player that is playing Jack can merely hold 1 weapon at a time, and they cannot sprint when they pick up that weapon. So something to just keep in the recesses of your mind when you're going through and playing this game.
Energy tab upgraded.
Now, about halfway through, you probably will no longer really need to worry so much about forging like every single weapon, because you're basically going to have all of your perks to 10, and then the rest is just spamming fortifications in every possible little hidey hole that you can find for them. So as you can see, we got these shock sentries holed up in the back. A good spot for an MG sentry is actually over here in this little hidey hole, angled just a wee bit. So something like that, that's a good spot for an MG sentry. You can fire on all these enemies here on the stairs. And if we move the barrier like that, it can fire freely without the barrier obstructing its shot, which is pretty cool. Same thing by adjusting that barrier just a wee bit. Like, that's the perfect spot for that barrier. Of course, the enemies love to destroy the energy taps, as I've mentioned numerous times already, which is just a ridiculously frustrating thing about this game, because the enemies really should not prioritize energy taps as quickly as they do, but it never fails that they prioritize the energy taps.
Come on, have a go if you think you're hard enough.
Lambent.
Good to go.
Also, make sure you grab that power when it's a double stack. It'll make life a little easier,
Tap is full.
especially if your energy taps keep getting destroyed. Because if your energy taps keep getting destroyed, then unfortunately, you're only going to be getting the base amount of health increase and the base amount of power from the tap when you collect it.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Don't mind if I do.
Now, once a player has finished doing their perks, they'll usually just deposit whatever remainder of their power they have into the fabricator so you can continue to build fortifications. That's really personal preference. You can also shout out to your teammates and see if any of your teammates still need power to do their perks. But at the end of the day, it's really personal preference.
Let's do this.
Little help here. You better believe it.
Dude, I can't get away from this grenadier.
Clapped him.
Grenadiers are annoying, man. Really flipping annoying.
Oh, I'm ready.
Dropped off.
After you, bastard.
I got stuck in a loop with that grenadier where I couldn't back up or do anything. I was just revived, downed, revived, downed. Well, you guys seen it. It wasn't fun.
Okay.
Let's rock and roll.
Ah.
I know metal feels a
This ain't over yet.
bit left out right now. I wish that you could have 6 players in a Horde lobby. Unfortunately, that is not something that you can do.
Energy tap repaired.
Got it.
Oh yeah. Tap's taking damage.
Perfect.
Time's up. Here they come. Barrier repaired.
Who wants it?
I love it when I get downed through stim.
Okay.
Come on, man. You're scared. That's it.
Lemon mark!
Okay.
Elite Grenadier!
Every once in a while, it's always a good idea to go inside the base and make sure you repair any damage like the weapon lockers took from
Destroyed.
grenades or anything like that.
Locker repaired. Big guy's down.
Okay.
Through there.
Safety's off. Dropped off. Securing the tap.
Sorry, mate. You were saying.
Alas, we did not secure the energy taps there.
Securing the tap. Ammo check. Get ready for more.
We're doing alright. We could definitely be doing a little bit better. Fortification health, I don't think is really like the end-all be-all perk. I mean, it can be helpful, but you don't have to worry about maxing it.
Preparing a barrier. Barrier repaired.
We've got company.
Safety's off.
Repaired. Sentry reloaded. Sentry upgraded.
Let's do this.
Target him on man. You scared?
Okay. Crash one clone!
Sadly, a warden is like a death sentence for all of your big, beautiful fortifications.
Nice.
Which is almost what happened to our poor forge right there.
Ready.
Let's do this. Five left. Here they come. Okay.
Incoming frag. Barrier repaired.
Last one.
Securing the top. Help me secure the top.
That's
Exciting enough for everyone? Well, we're not done yet. Energy tap upgrade. Solid.
This should be a good testament to just how much power you can actually get from having a forge jack, even with meh taps when it comes to doing a 1 to 50 match.
Time's up. Enemy reinforcements. Sentries up.
Loading.
Forge repaired.
Okay. Grenadier.
Come on, then. You're scared.
This caliber is nasty. A big grenadier.
Time to do some damage.
Stand up.
Rotten sack of shit. Chopped off.
Barrier repaired.
Okay. Loading.
Got it.
Alright, now we should try to pick up the pace just a little bit. Get off that locker, Mr. Sire. Sires are very uncooperative when it comes to trying to understand that you wish to keep your fortifications alive.
No stopping me now. Ready to go.
Everybody should be pretty close to being done with their perks. So at this point, it's mostly just a matter of focusing on fortifications. I usually end up maxing all of my perks on a 50-wave game just because I can. Not that I really have to do it, but it is cheaper to repair a fortification all the way than it is to actually rebuild the fortification and then have to repair it.
Energy collected.
Which is why I'm sort of being really obsessive about repairing these fortifications whenever I get the opportunity to do so.
Here they come.
And that is the most terrifying sound a Horde boss can possibly make. Way Kakatu Kako.
Wakati spotted.
Its scientific name is the giant dick.
Damage.
Crash one clone. Chopped off.
Put this breaker mace over here.
Okay.
We're definitely gonna lose the energy taps.
Destroyed. Let's
Thank you, Stim.
do this. Okay.
And of course these nasty ass acid fart bubbles that come up out of the ground from the Wakakatu. Well, they do a crazy amount of damage to fortifications. Now, if you shoot them early enough, it is actually possible to detonate them before they leave their stinky shit on the ground. But, well, you don't get them usually every time. Especially if you're trying to run weapons, repair fortifications, and keep the energy taps alive. All while you have this really disgusting bird just, you know, casually puking on you.
Tap repaired. Blinded. Oh, upgraded. Come on, then. Who's scared?
Time to do some damage. I dare you. Safety's off. Weapon time. Okay.
Come on, mark the weapon. There we go.
Vigilant and unyielding.
Alright. That was a annoying wave. 20 more to go.
Time to build.
Pretty much just like I figured it was going to be. Usually, out of every single run, I think I had one of about 30 total test runs where a tap did not spawn up here, but all the other ones, an energy tap spawned up here. It really feels like the devs wanted us to play from that balcony area.
Barrier repaired.
Time's up! Let's do this! Here to start that one!
One dead Juvie.
Okay. Protect the energy tap.
Another dead Juvie. Killing's my business, mate. Oh, I'm ready. Decoy deployed. Oh, now that was some right bullshit.
You're good to go.
Barrier repaired.
So now you can see where we have
Repaired.
just a ton of money.
Okay.
Brilliant. Target eliminated. I got you, sir.
Oh, I like that.
Now decoys can be helpful. They do take quite a bit of time to repair,
Barrier repaired.
but they also take a fair amount of damage to destroy.
Where is my...
One dead wrong!
Target eliminated.
Chopped off.
Of course they got the energy tap though, which is super inefficient for us.
Only one left!
Sentry upgraded.
Okay.
Keep calling, mate. You're shit. Sentry is up.
Collecting energy. Energy tab upgraded. That won't be the last of them. Get ready. Securing the tap.
Barrier repaired.
Fighting fit.
Repairing a barrier.
Time's up! Here they come!
Weapons locker repaired.
Now they go!
Okay.
Sentry upgraded. Come on, then. Who's dead? Sentry repaired. Goddamn little shit. Sniper.
Alright, we are starting to get a decently fortified area here. Jack can relax on foraging, but then again, from my experience playing Jack, it can be a really boring thing to just pretty much float around and revive people.
Weapons locker repaired.
Loaded.
Yes, that was perfect. Target is down.
We are gonna attempt
Energy tap.
to just shoehorn in a shock sentry right there.
Energy tap upgraded.
I don't think I can fit 3 MG sentries, but 2 MG sentries and a shock, definitely viable there.
Energy tap upgraded.
That's going to provide a nice additional boost of firepower to that left-hand side and hopefully mitigate some of the chance of a flying enemy coming in there.
Practice to perfection.
Time's up. Enemy reinforcement.
The tap's nearly destroyed.
Barrier repaired. Bump you up. Goddamn little shit. Tap's taking damage.
Throwing fire.
Got him. I'll take that.
Now, of course, it's going to get to the point where it's actually pretty difficult to actually forge, and that's due to the fact that there's just so many enemies and so many sentry guns.
Okay.
Shit, yeah. Scratch one drone.
Now, we have the money, so I'm going to go ahead and use electric barriers to mitigate the avenues of approach that things like juvies, sires, and other just really annoying freak shows have to get in here.
Sentry reloaded.
Protect the energy tap.
Let's do this. Okay.
I guess I'll just carry these just in case.
3 left. Barrier repaired.
Securing energy tap.
Dropped off.
Help me secure the tap.
Honestly, at this point, we can really just keep the energy taps that are close to us, and then with a few weapons forged here and there, we'll be perfectly fine. Mostly in the interest of time, speeding it up, because I'm pretty much at the point that there's not that many nooks and crannies that I can cram more sentry guns into. I can get a few more fortifications up, of course.
Energy tap upgraded.
Sentry reloaded.
Unfortunately, this area is such a small area that placing sentries in a matter that they don't get in your way is difficult.
Sentry upgraded.
Yeah, there is always this spot right here for an MG sentry as well.
Come on then, you're scared.
Time to do some damage.
You can, of course, run out of power very quickly if you're not careful, because sentry guns do get expensive to build with that whole really annoying power drain modifier active. And if you get a ton of sentries or like level 3, level 5 barriers, they can be very expensive to repair if they burn through their ammunition.
Okay.
House destroyed. We need to resecure it. Sentry reloaded. Target's down. Tap destroyed. We need to resecure it.
Ready to go.
Loading.
So because of our team comp here, we actually have a really heavily fortified base. Everyone has all of their perks maxed. Even the ones that, I mean, you don't need to have, but they're nice to have.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Unfortunately, things can still go south
Loading.
very easily.
This is sweet.
Chopped off.
Got him.
Securing the tap. Help me secure the tap.
Sweet.
You're not done yet. Sentry reloaded.
Who wants it?
Now, as I was mentioning at the start of this video, this is a slow map, especially if you play the game with a forge jack and you actually let the jack have enough time to forge various weapons. By doing that, you have a massive amount of power, though, so depending on who you talk to, they'll tell you that the trade-off is worth it or not worth it.
Securing the tap.
I'll let the ease of us completing this run speak for itself in terms of the value of having a forge jack and actually helping them to make sure that you get the majority, if not all, of the weapons that are dropped on a single wave.
Oh, I'm ready. Tap repaired.
Of course, keep in mind you can always use your TACCOM to check the map and see what fortifications are damaged or what sentries are out of ammunition.
Energy tap is full.
This is sweet.
Time to build.
Armed and ready.
Of course, now we kind of want to start to just get things done a little faster.
Upgrade. Sentry reloaded. Time's up. They're here.
That's wave 35. We've got 35,000 in the fabricator, an extremely heavily fortified base.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're doing just all right. We'll add a decoy. Oh, come on.
I'm good to go, thanks. Get up.
Now we understand.
Man, I keep trying to get to this cryo cannon. And the game's like, yeah, no. The cryo cannon really helps to get rid of flocks.
Okay.
I actually always recommend that you make like a level 2 or 3 locker, stick it in the corner, and just call that the community locker. On that locker, it's always a good idea to keep something like maybe a tri-shot for the engineer to use, a cryo cannon to specifically deal with flyers. I'll take that cryo cannon though. There we go. I made a locker, another community locker.
They're rushing.
Actually, I'll throw my Lancer on there just so that we have some ammo.
Target eliminated.
Sweet.
Barrier repaired. Tap empty. Tap upgraded. Got him.
Honestly, I'm okay with going through the waves a bit faster now. Like, we don't have to get every single weapon or all that stuff, because we have a really fortified base right now.
Collected. Energy tap upgraded.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying to not get as much power as we can, just we can go a little faster. Make sure we get our skips and whatnot in.
Grabbing the energy.
We've got hostiles approaching.
Got it.
Okay.
You didn't start that one.
I love getting stuck on my sentry guns.
Fire is on.
Cap destroyed. Let's resecure it.
Like, this sentry gun out here has actually been putting in work. But he's got a nice little trap with the decoy, so it's really good for dealing with juvies and leeches and stuff. Then we've got the sentry guns watching sentry guns. We've got the locker over here. It's got the cryo cannon on it.
Okay. Chopped off.
Do some damage. Down they go.
Barrier repaired.
Protect the energy tap.
And yeah, at this point, it's just a,
Energy tap destroyed.
you know, try to keep the energy tap if you can. But most of the energy taps, especially on this map, you're probably not going to be able to keep alive.
Chopped off.
Tap's taking damage.
Decoy repair.
Crash one drone.
Overall, not bad, though.
Perfect.
That won't be the last of them. Shore up those defenses. Barrier repair.
Tap empty. Looks like a good spot for it.
You can see that just off of the money that you make by yourself, without your teammates contributing, it's usually more than enough to keep the base repaired. It's just adding new fortifications or making upgrades that you're gonna need some assistance with. More than likely, yeah, I'm not gonna go out there and get that tap. That tap's dead to me.
Okay.
Oh, good damn it! And stay down.
Loaded.
Sentry reloaded.
Bring it.
Damn it!
Take a do-over. Some damage. Fire in the hole. Another dead drone.
I need to get some shocks. We've got plenty of money, so I'm just gonna buy a set of shocks for emergency purposes.
Okay.
Sweet.
5 left. They're gonna rush.
That's one.
Fire in the hole!
Decoy repair. Sentry reloaded.
I'll take that.
Energy tap is
That's a clean sweep. Let's regroup and resupply.
Energy collected. Energy tap repaired.
A little surprise. Energy tap available. Let's secure it.
Now, as you can tell, I have a lot of power right now.
Barrier repaired.
Okay.
We'll get another decoy on the field, probably. I think there's a couple other spots that I can put some sentry guns up.
Protect the energy tap. Weapons on. Frag out.
Incoming frag.
Safety's off. Incoming frag.
Gotta watch out for those frag grenades. They do so much damage.
Sentry reloaded. Barrier repaired. Decoy repair.
No stopping you now. Fire!
Oh, of course there would be a frag grenade. Like I said, the frag grenades are super annoying.
Sentry reloaded.
Time to do some damage.
Board repaired.
Quit whinging and fight me!
You can see this backside isn't really taking as much of an assault as the front side is, but that's just due to the way explosives are landing right now.
Drill. Let's build, rearm.
Oi, excuse me.
tap.
trying to get all of these videos done and uploaded as fast as possible. It's definitely a bit of a time crunch.
Time's up. They're coming.
Sentry repaired. Tap empty. Come on then. You're scared. Barrier repaired.
Okay.
Incoming front.
Tap taking damage.
Decoy repaired.
Chopped off. Frag out. Fire in the hole. Weapon time. Stone damn dead.
Sentry reloaded. Barrier repaired.
Now, I know I mentioned this earlier, but decoys do take a exceedingly long time to repair, unfortunately. So that's the trade-off to using a level 4 decoy. Despite the fact that I currently have the maximum level of ingenuity and the maximum level of repair efficiency and repair speed, it still takes just this ridiculously long time to repair this decoy.
2 left. Loaded.
You can actually spend like the better part of
Okay.
a considerably long time trying to repair that thing.
Only 1 left.
Barrier repaired.
Help me secure the tap.
Now, normally I wouldn't recommend that you spend the money to just buy the weapon that you want, but in this case we have way more than enough money, so I'm gonna rock the Lancer and the Scorcher.
Energy collected. Energy tap upgraded.
This combo of weapons will help me stay prepared for the inevitable sneaky bosses that like to get just a wee bit too close for comfort.
Armed.
Repairing a barrier.
We've got company.
Barrier repaired.
Alright, we got a Kestrel.
Okay.
It's actually nice when you get a Kestrel because we have a decent amount of overhead cover from flying enemies, so we don't really have to worry too much about that particular boss. We'll also go ahead and make that weapons locker a level 4, despite the fact that we really don't actually need to.
Weapons locker repaired.
I'll grab my shock grenades again.
They're on. Do some damage.
Fuck you.
Sentry upgraded. Thanks, boss.
Oh yeah.
Now this is something that's personal preference, but we have more than enough money to do it, so I don't necessarily mind. But we're gonna kind of form a little bit of a extended firing line.
Barrier deployed.
Weakling.
Barrier deployed.
So what I'm creating over here is a totally unnecessary, but we have way more than the amount of power that we need. So we might as well put it to good use.
Sentry is up.
So we're just going to create a sentry kill box there. And to prevent those barriers from taking too much damage,
Planted.
we're going to go ahead and use a set of sacrificial barriers placed a little bit farther out.
Okay.
Just a nuisance.
Now, this is definitely not 100% necessary, and it is exceedingly expensive to do. So if you don't have the barriers, you don't have the energy taps, and you don't have a forge jack, you're probably not gonna pull this technique off.
You lost your head.
Barrier repair.
Got it. Okay.
Board repaired. Weapons locker repaired.
The good thing about this is we have more than enough sentry guns.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that I'm not really spec'd for sentry guns in terms of efficiency or in terms of damage, at the very least we are able to contribute some additional firepower to the team and help kill some of this stuff just that much faster.
Decoy repaired. Let's have it then.
Got some on me.
Smoking!
You'll notice those two shock sentries in the back really haven't done a whole lot of anything.
Let's do this.
Sentry upgrade. Sentries up.
This is also a really useful kill box here for any nasty little flying enemies that decide to grace our doorstep.
Got it. Time to build.
Sentry reloaded. Sentry repaired. Repairing a barrier. Energy collected. Energy tap upgraded. Forge repaired.
That'll ruin someone's day.
Incoming.
Who wants it? Okay.
There we go.
Looks dead to me.
Look at those beautiful sentry guns just a firing.
There, we're done.
Barrier repaired.
Weapon time.
Now, it's definitely not as effective as like a spawn trap method, but I would say we're doing pretty good.
Dead. Just whipped up. Sentry reloaded.
Time to do some damage. Okay. Let's do this.
Of course, repairing these things while getting your ass shot off, now that's another trick.
Sentry repaired.
So long. Piss off.
You know the drill. Let's build, rearm, and regroup.
I've got the energy. Repairing a battery.
Energy tap upgraded.
We should secure that energy tap.
At this point, we're not even worried about the energy tabs.
Top mark gear.
Here they come!
I'm going to the point of the lasers inside the base.
Weapon
We've
time.
actually upgraded from electricity to
Okay.
laser lasers.
Loaded.
Protect the energy tap! Tap destroyed! Let's re-secure it!
Sentry repaired. That all you got?
Let's dance.
Now, these level 4 fences, I definitely don't recommend that you use. They cost a lot more and they take a lot longer to repair.
Come on then! You're scared!
But honestly, I'm just kind of wasting power right now. We have so much of it.
Tap's nearly destroyed!
It's always a good idea to keep like at least 20-30,000 power in the fabricator. This way, in the event weapon lockers get destroyed or you need to buy a specific weapon or something, just really have a bad boss wave where a lot of things get destroyed and need to be rebuilt. Whatever the case might be, you have the means to do it.
Sentry reloaded.
However, with this particular team comp and these players, I am highly confident in our abilities to make it through this without really much difficulty at all at this point.
Have that, you bouncy little shit!
Fire in the hole!
Sentry repaired. Barrier repaired.
Let's do this!
Oh, I thought I was going to get the repair tool kill on that Scion. And we have a layered strategic defense here.
Sentry upgraded.
So you'll notice, of course, I haven't been moving my defenses out. I've merely been building new defenses.
Sentry is up.
That's all of them.
That allows us to simply have a line of defenses to fall back behind, a line of defenses behind that to fall back behind,
Decoy repaired.
yet another line of defenses behind the line of defenses behind the line of defenses that we were going to fall back behind in the event things go horribly wrong.
Upgraded.
Okay. Loaded.
Sentry reloaded. Is that all you got?
You'll notice I can also kind of get behind these sentries, and I can sort of repair them during the wave.
I'm hit!
I don't take as much damage. I mean, the enemy can technically still hit me, but the sentry guns block some of that damage that I would normally receive. Now, how I survived that melee while I was chainsawing, I have no idea. I'm an engineer, I shouldn't have survived that, but somehow I did. I'm not going to complain either, because that was pretty cool to survive that.
You need me. Double time it. Sentry reloaded.
Okay.
Whoa, what the heck just hit me? That was unfortunate. Damn. Whatever hit my poor sentry over here did a good number on it.
5 left. Trust me.
Dropped off.
Sentry reloaded.
Securing the tap.
Sentry reloaded.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I think I made a nice little death wall over here on this side.
Securing the top. Time to rebuild our shit. And get ready for another round. Decoy prepared. Sentry reloaded. Sentry upgraded.
I mean, I didn't want to play like an extremely long 1 to 50 game. Otherwise, I would make sure that we had like every single speck of power we possibly could get. But I think we have a really, really good chance of success right now.
Damage.
Okay.
I mean, we have just line after line of fortifications. If I hold my TACCOM, all you see is just health bars and ammo bars.
Sentry repaired. Sentry reloaded. Ah, took a hit.
No stopping me now.
I have such a wall of death over here that Nasty is actually just forging during the wave. just chilling with the sentry guns covering him. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Cap's taking damage.
Time to do some damage.
I kind of want to see if a flyer can even get in this area at this point.
Here they come. Sentry upgraded.
Let's do this.
Securing the top. One of them. Barrier repaired. Exterminated.
Yeah. I think this is definitely my kind of bookstore. Just saying. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section.
Fortify our position.
Grabbing the energy. Energy tap upgraded.
We've got hostiles approaching. Sentry repaired. Sentry reloaded.
Let's just take a second here to appreciate the glory that is this death wall.
Right, let's have ya.
want it.
Now let's take a look at our glorious miniature death wall over here on the left-hand side.
Incoming frag!
Wasted a reach.
Thank goodness they toned down the audio for sentry guns, otherwise I probably would have my game just completely malfunctioning at this point.
Pucker! Come on then! You're scared! That's it! Ah, took a hit!
Sentry's up. Sentry reloaded. Barrier deployed.
Okay.
Securing energy tap.
Sentry's up.
I'm down! Tap's nearly destroyed!
Alright, there we go. I think we'll have enough room to fit the
Squad,
3 level 4 sentries right there side by side.
Reloaded.
poor show, mate.
Weapons locker repaired.
Only 2 left.
Not sure what's going on out there. There's only one enemy left, and it seems to be giving my friends a hard time.
Sentry reloaded.
Shots
There we go, last few waves.
I've got the energy. Energy tap.
Not bad. Despite the fact that
Ready for more.
we've actually played this game out fairly slow in the beginning, just getting things set up, and had a bit of a rocky start with the way the energy tap first spawned.
Sentry reloaded.
We're going through this pretty close to the time I expected. I figured it would be about a 2-hour, maybe 2.5-hour game.
Forge repaired.
Whenever you run a forge jack, it's always just a bit longer than running a straight damage team comp.
Safety's off.
Incoming frag.
Okay.
Decoy repaired. Sentry reloaded. Sentry repaired.
Chopped off.
Decoy repaired.
As you can see, sentry guns do a decent amount of damage to smaller, soft targets, but when it comes to full-size hardened targets like a Scion, they can leave a bit to be desired unless you're running all of the damage upgrade cards for them.
Chopped off.
Come
Decoy
on then!
repaired.
You're scared!
Did mess up the placement of that barrier just a wee bit. Let's go ahead and move the barrier out a bit like that at an angle so these sentry guns can still shoot through it.
Oh, I like that.
Weapons locker repaired.
Okay.
I feel like we need an additional decoy on the field.
Decoy upgraded.
Well, it's not really 100% necessary. Let's just go ahead and put this guy, like, right over here.
Help me secure the tap!
Securing energy.
He's going to be in charge of protecting these sentry guns.
Let's do this. Need more ammo.
tap is full.
Now, I feel like this map requires some more fortifications. I'm just not quite sure where to actually put them.
Sentry reloaded.
Energy tap upgraded.
Weapons locked.
By the way, to anyone that is crazy enough to say, oh, there's no reason to play a Forge Jack anymore. What? I mean, in a general sense, they're partially right. But if it's a really annoying map that you just don't want to do multiple times, it's really, really beneficial to have a decent Forge Jack.
Let's do this.
Of course, obviously, a well-placed explosive can tear through your sentry guns. They do provide a considerable amount of fire support.
Sentry repaired.
Now, to any new engineers out there, you never build sentry guns right at the beginning. You generally always build a few barriers, level 4 weapons lockers, let people perk up. Then you consider putting out a couple shock sentries, and then eventually when you have the money, if you ever have the money, that's when you finally go ahead and put out the walls of MG sentries.
Weapons locker repaired. Sentry reloaded.
Which we've been past the point of what was actually needed and actually required to complete this map a long time ago. So at this point, it's just a matter of throwing out sentry guns, because if I wasn't doing something right now, I would end up passing out. At this point, I've been up a little over 24 hours now, so I am definitely tired.
Two ready to go. Okay. Yes, that was.
Alright, we just have 2 waves left, and then we are done.
We need you on your feet.
Barrier repaired.
Energy tap is full.
This will shred you lot.
You know the drill. Let's build, rearm, and regroup.
Sentry reloaded.
Energy collected.
Repairing a barrier.
Practice to perfection.
And see, I keep being given even more money, so I just feel like more fortifications are necessary right now.
Jump on that. You're scared.
Possibly just 1 or 2 sacrificial barriers placed very far out to kind of slow the enemies down a little bit.
Safety's on.
Ooh, now that's a beautiful thing.
Sentry upgraded.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Sentry's up. Sentry reloaded.
Primed and ready.
Incoming frag.
I mean, for another unexpected surprise, Casper, you should totally just, hold down your TACCOM.
I'll take that.
I've placed 1 or 2 fortifications around the map.
Loaded.
All you got.
Yeah.
Ah, check this.
Repaired.
I just love the fact Nasty's chilling. He's just, leaving the forge out, casually forging weapons during the wave, protected by a hail of sentry gunfire, because, why not?
Tap is full.
I'm reading a large heat signature inbound to our location. Grabbing the energy. Energy tap upgraded.
I have all of my in-game perks at 10 right now. It's the power of having the energy taps, having a good team, and a forge jack on a 1 to 50 game. You can have so much power, it's not even funny.
A little surprise.
Get ready. They're here.
Oh no, that is not what I wanted to see there. We have ourselves a matriarch. My poor, poor base.
Incoming frag!
Kill it! Kill it with fire!
That's nearly destroyed. Shovel then. Who's dead?
Loaded.
I grabbed the cryo cannon. Oh, you little annoying frozen...
Damage.
Oh well.
Oh.
The first one's dead now.
Good to go.
Okay.
Sweet.
Wow. Juvie straight up frickin' parkoured.
That's destroyed. Please secure it.
I'm freezing this annoying matriarch. Now I'm gonna light it on fire.
Time to do some damage.
Securing the top!
Oh wow, it's in the top of a cherry tree. Alright, well, that works. Now that is what I call victory. So there we go. Approximately just over 2 hours completion time. Horde master difficulty 1 to 50 on the new map Mercy. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely smash that like button and share the video with your friends, as that greatly helps me out with the searchability of videos here on YouTube. Also, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my base design or whatnot. That also helps out. And of course, subscribing for more content so you never miss a new video is also phenomenally helpful. Now, we did get 10 skill cards here. Of course, most of these skill cards are ones I don't need, with the exception of those 2 copies of Shredder. I wish it told me exactly how long the match was, but let's see. Based off of my recording, I would say in-game playtime on that was probably about 2 hours and 10 minutes, roughly. Just guessing. Anyways, I hope you enjoy many more of my videos. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, thy legion, keep them lancers clean, and most importantly, stay frosty.